Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of TGC Radio. If I sound a bit weird, I've been sick recently, but the show must go on, I have an episode to record for TGC Radio, and that is episode 8. Of course, we'll take a look at my most listened to stuff for the week of January 12th to January 18th, 2024. And we will finally put an end to the 2023 year-end list, with this being what I personally think are the best new songs released in 2023. But with that being said, I don't want to talk too much in this one with just how bad I feel, so let's just talk about artists most listened to January 12th, January 18th. My top artist was Rush. And then we have Against the Current. Tied at 3, we have Saint, Spanish Love Songs, and Taking Back Sunday. And then tied at 6th, we have Alex Melton's Stray Light Run and Sum 41. Albums, we have 2112 by Rush, Smile and Wave by Saint, which is tied with No Joy by Spanish Love Songs. We have Against the Current's Gravity, and then Stray Light Run self-titled. And then tied at 6, we have Honey Revenge's Retrovision. We have the Blue Album by Weezer. And we have the self-titled Avenged Sevenfold record. And then songs, we have Talk from Against the Current, Autumnal by Alex Melton, If You Ever Feel Alone by Saint, and Landmines by Sum 41. And then tied at number 5, all the way at the bottom here, we have Afterlife by Avenged Sevenfold and Pendulum by Spanish Love Songs. And yeah, that's that for my 2024 albums project, which I will talk about a little bit more since I do have some differences there with how I did it for 2023. I don't think I'll talk about it in this episode. I don't know. But for that, I listened to 2112, and, I love that record so much. It was the first time I sat through the entire thing in full. I knew most of it, but I hadn't listened to everything on side B. And yeah, 2112 is phenomenal, the entire thing. As we know, Against the Current is just one of my favorite bands ever at this point, so they stay in constant rotation. Saint is the solo project of Tay from We Are the In Crowd, and I love Smile and Wave, her so far first and only solo record. I really love it a lot, and ultimately that culminated in me listening to If You Ever Feel Alone a lot. Kind of like with Against the Current, Spanish Love Songs has just basically... Spanish Love Songs has basically been in constant rotation for me since I listened to Brave Faces for the first time. I've been a fan of Taking Back Sunday for a long time, so I always pop their music on, and I've been listening to the stuff from 152, their new record, quite a bit. Sum 41, I just really like Landmines, and I'm super excited to see what they do with Heaven and Hell. Alex Melton, obviously, like I've said before, I just think he's just a really good musician. I'm primarily familiar with his covers, which are almost always fantastic, but he does have some original music too, which I do dig. And then Stray Light Run, I was less familiar with them. I knew that I wanted to check them out at some point, just because, again, I like Taking Back Sunday so much. And I knew when John and Sean left the band, that's the band that they ended up putting together. I haven't quite finished that record, just, again, I have not felt like doing anything with how bad I felt this week. I'll finish that up and then start listening to some other stuff as well, because I haven't even listened to the new Green Day record, which I've been very excited for. So I'll try and get to that as well, because that came out just the previous day from when I'm recording this. But yeah, so that was all of that, and then, so, yeah, that's pretty much it. And songs specifically, Talk from Gravity by Against the Current, I love that song so much. Autumnal is just a fall banger. If You Ever Feel Alone, I love so much from Smile and Wave. It's such a good song. Like, it hits so hard for me. Landmines is just a really fun pop punk song from Sum 41. Pendulum is probably my, it's not my most listened to track from No Joy right now, but I do think it's one that in very recent time might be my most listened to from the album. I've been coming back to Pendulum a lot. In Afterlife by Avenged Sevenfold, I'm not big on the band, but some songs from them I genuinely do really like a lot, and Afterlife is one of them. But with that being said, that's really all that I have, to be honest. So let's move straight into what I think are the best songs released in 2023. And it's not going to be a ranking. I do have 18, because again, my thing is top 6. That's my favorite number. So 18 is still a multiple of 6. Yeah, you get it. I couldn't fully decide on a ranking for this one, so it's not going to be a ranking, and I'm just going to base it off of my most listened to throughout 2023. But yes, this is not... Or I guess also, I love every track here, but yeah, it's not specifically a ranking. And as well as that, it will be one entry per artist as well. But with that being said, we'll start out at number 18. Number 18 is the demo, now officially released, of Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Now, this song, I don't know how many people will agree with me on this, but I like the demo a lot, and I see the potential there, and I like the guitar solo in the bridge a lot. And the main thing the solo replaces is obviously the actual rap in the song that we did get back in 2003, and I like it a lot, like I already said, but something just doesn't feel right. And you could say maybe that's just nostalgia, the fact that I've heard the original so much. But I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. I just think I genuinely prefer the original. And that's no shot at like Amy Lee or Evanescence or anything, because I love Evanescence. Well, I like Evanescence. I wouldn't say I love them, but I like Evanescence a good bit, and generally they have so much good music, obviously, as we know. But yeah, something just doesn't feel right with the demo here, Bring Me to Life, which I assume is basically a completely finished track, and that's just how Amy and then the rest of the band at the time envisioned it before the label said, hey, let's bring in another vocalist to sing alongside Amy. I just think that other vocalist, the frontman of 12 Stones, added something that almost felt necessary for the song. It added the cool, like, call and response vocals, and then you had the constant back and forth, the call and response vocals, and it just helped enhance the song, I think. And while I do like the demo, and I will come back to it, as I have already, like I was saying, I think I prefer the original anyway. But the demo's still good for what it is. And then next up at 17, we're going to have A Place You'll Never Find by the band Sky Limit. Now, if you don't know, so there was a series done on the Jared Dines YouTube channel called Musician Mansion, where he invited like 15 musicians that he knew. They're all fellow creators like he is, and it was a series of 5 episodes. All 15 musicians got split into 3 teams, which were their own bands specifically for the show. It was a really cool series. You should definitely check it out. If I remember, I'll throw a link in the description, because I loved watching it. Even if personally I didn't know or was familiar with most of them, to be honest. Especially since like they're all like from some heavier, they're from like the heavier side of music, all kind of like metalcore, stuff like that. So yeah, I wasn't very familiar, but genuinely, it was a very good series. All 3 bands were very cool, very talented, and this is what I think is personally the best song that was made on the show. It was A Place You'll Never Find by Sky Limit. It's so good. It's got hooks for days. And that's really all I can say about it. It's just, it's a really good, catchy, hooky metal song. And like that chorus alone is just always getting stuck in my head. And I know when they came out of recording the show, some of them had talked about as well, like it was getting stuck in their heads as well. An incredible song. It's available on Spotify if you want to stream it. If you haven't, check it out. It's cool. But at number 16, we have So Addicted by Concrete Castles. This is one of their songs from their new album, Brand New Me. Now, finding a song from this record was a bit tricky because they ended up releasing basically the entire album. I've talked about this before, but they ended up releasing basically the entire record before it came out, which personally I'm not a fan of. I don't like that trend with a lot of bands doing it, you know? But I know it's been happening for so long, because again, like, I can even think back to like 2017 examples of records having like half of an album being released, you know? So it's been a thing for a long time. I'm not a fan, but that's neither here nor there. But looking through, doing my research again for Brand New Me, So Addicted was released in 2023, and it was a song that I ended up coming back to a good bit from Brand New Me. Not quite as much as my favorite 3 from the record, which were Lucky, You Won't See Me Again, and Where Are You Now? Particularly with those latter 2 being my favorites, really. There were just parts of Lucky that I like a lot just because of how hard they go. But yeah, So Addicted was still a fine song. But if I had to do a proper ranking, I knew that one would actually be at the bottom of the list just because, like, it's one that I have felt like skipping before, and the rest of them I hadn't really felt like that. But it's still a solid song. I like what they're doing on it. And I do want to give it credit for, like, being the first song on the record, I think, that really gripped me. And it was like, okay, I like this. I think it's track 5. And, like, the first 4 I didn't care for. I don't love Brand New Me. I still think it's a solid sophomore record. And So Addicted is a solid song. But now we move on to Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius from their debut record, The Record. And this song, what can I say? I've talked about it before. I really hated myself for putting off listening to Boy Genius and The Record for as long as I did. And every time when I did try and listen to it, like I've said before, it was always just, here, let's throw it on through, like, let's just throw it on through, like, my Bluetooth turntable and just be, like, doing other things, cleaning my apartment at the time or whatever, and I wouldn't focus on it, and that was wrong. That was wrong on so many levels, you know? Because Boy Genius's The Record deserves so much more, and I love this song so much. Like, it's so good. They all sound amazing. And it's one that, like, I can't fully put into words how much I love it. I just know I love it a lot. And next, we'll move on to You First by Paramore from their 2023 record, This Is Why. Kind of in a similar vein, You First was one where, I mean, like, I gave This Is Why plenty of time, personally. I mean, you could argue I probably should have listened to it, focusing on it a bit more, and, like, yeah, I won't really argue with you on that one, but I still gave it a good bit of time. I fully focused on it as much as I could when I first listened to it, and I liked it a good bit. I'll always stand by, I think the back half of the record is way stronger than the first half. And You First, the more I've been coming back to it at the end of 2023, start of 2024, it's like, wow, this is such a good song. It's so strong. I love it so much. Everyone sounds good. I love the instrumental. Haley sounds amazing. And the lyric choices I love so much. And, like, I really love the lyric about, like, it's like you're stuck in a horror film and you're both the killer and the final girl. I love that line so much. Like, You First is so great. I think for me personally, it's easily the strongest song on This Is Why. But then we move up to a song called Lately by Kala. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is another song kind of like with Concrete Castles and Sky Limit. It's from another creator. And there's another creator that I sometimes watch called Todd Barrage. Again, I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, so... And he actually put in a community post saying that, oh, hey, I featured on this song. Go check it out. So I did. I watched the official video. I streamed it on Spotify a lot. And it's a really good emo song. Everyone sounds great. And you could argue that the lyrics may get a bit kind of emo tropey a little bit. But I feel like the way that they're written, it makes the kind of tropiness of it work, and it all builds up until it finally kind of climaxes near the end, and it all just feels really good and climactic. Then we move on to The One by Taking Back Sunday from their record 152. And what can I say about this song? I've talked about this song a lot now. I love this song. It's my favorite song on 152. It's the only song where, like, John and Adam are both, like, kind of, like, doing the more old school, like, dull singing. And, I love it so much. Like, easily my favorite on 152. And I just feel it impossible to not start, like, just singing out with John in his section, you know? Like, it's so good. But next up we have Habitual from Retrovision by Honey Revenge. And again, I've talked about them a lot too, and Honey Revenge is just such a good, solid band, so much potential. I want to see them live up to that potential. And Habitual, originally, again, like, I wasn't really going to put Habitual on there originally. I was gonna go with, like, Are You Impressed? Because that was the first song that initially, like, grabbed me immediately. And, like, I like the entire record. I think the entire record's very good, and you should check it out if you haven't. But yeah, like, Are You Impressed was, like, my first immediate favorite. It's like, yes, this is incredibly strong, and it is still an incredibly strong song. But Habitual goes super hard, but it's also kind of fun. And I love that about it. Again, you want to talk about fun pop punk. We move on to Landmines from Sum 41, which is going to be on the upcoming Heaven side of their double album, Heaven and Hell. And again, like I said before earlier in the video, Landmines is just a really solid, fun pop punk song from Sum 41. And it's been so long since, you know, they had done any pop punk. And they proved with this song, they still got it, you know? Like, they'd obviously been leaning way heavier on everything post Underclass Hero. But yeah, they showed, no, we can still do pop punk, like, easily, you know? It's just not the direction we wanted to go in. And yeah, like, I like the song a lot. It's just super fun, easy to sing along with. I love it a lot. Next up, we have Sour by Echo Smith from their self-titled record. This was another one that was a bit trickier for me to figure out what song I wanted to do. Because Sour's not my favorite on the record. I love it a lot, but I wanted to go Hang Around, but Hang Around, I was doing the research for the video, and Hang Around, I had to look, it's like, oh wait, no, that song was released in 2022. So that wouldn't count for the video. It's like, well, okay, damn it. But then I looked, it's like, okay, so Sour was released in 2023. And yeah, I like Sour a lot. And it just, again, like I always like to say, Sour just reminds me why I like Echo Smith and the style they go for. And I like the self-titled record a lot. Even though I like Lonely Generation, I do appreciate that they went back to their roots and made something a little more indie rock sounding. And again, I like Sour a lot because of that. And next up, we have Alex Melton's Autumnal, which again is just a really good, fun to sing along with fall banger of a song. And it's just fall vibes all around. And if you like the autumn season, you'll love this song, probably. And yeah, it's just a really cool, basically, autumn, fall pop punk song, you know? And it's really cool. But next we have English Blood American Heartache by All Time Low from their record Tell Me I'm Alive. And I'm not spending any time on this one. I'll say what I've said quite a few times now. Tell Me I'm Alive, I think genuinely is a solid record. Not their best, but not their worst. But I do think English Blood American Heartache can stand up there with some of their absolute best songs that they've ever written. And then we have More Than You Know by Blink-182 from their new record One More Time. I was close to not having this one on here, to be honest. I like More Than You Know a lot, and I like the record a lot. But I don't know. Like, part of me wanted to have Dance With Me just because, like, that one's grown on me so much. Part of me wanted to have, like, Fell in Love because I love that one a lot. I thought about, like, When We Were Young and Anthem Part 3. I was even considering the title track One More Time. But, like, there was one song that I love singing along to so much. I love listening to. So far, I haven't got sick of it at all. And I guess admittedly, I haven't gotten sick of anything from the record, so that one's a bad example, but there's one song that, for me, stands head and shoulders above the rest, and that is More Than You Know. And yeah, from Travis doing, so far, his only double bass song, like, ever in Blink, to just really good Mark-led, Mark-led verses, a really fun but kind of impactful Tom-led chorus. Both guys sing on the bridge and sound good. Just an all-around really good Blink tune. And then next up we're going to have Lost by Linkin Park from the 20th anniversary Meteora edition of the record. And what can I say about this one? Obviously this song had to be on here. I love Linkin Park. I grew up listening to Linkin Park. Meteora is my favorite record. And just hearing a new song with Chester, it hits so hard, you know? When they released it, it's like, holy shit. Something that we never thought we'd get, you know? And it just reminded me personally, you know, like, why I loved the band in the first place. And it felt so good to hear that voice again. And genuinely, it's such a good song. Like, I do completely understand why they said it got cut from Meteora initially, because, yeah, it is pretty similar thematically to Numb. And I do think Numb both is at least a little bit better of a song, and definitely would have been, like, the better song to be on the record, be the closing track, and be a single for the record. Like, I totally get it. And, like, yeah, this song definitely means a lot to both me and, like, everyone that's, like, you know, ever listened to the band. But then, next up, we have Childhood Eyes by Yellowcard. And now we have, again, another just kind of fun pop-punk song from Yellowcard. They had taken, you know, quite a bit of time away without being a band, without making music, and to eventually, you know, come back together and work on new material, and to have such a good, catchy as hell lead single for your new EP. I love the song a lot. It just feels good, you know? And that's what I'll say, is it's just a really feel-good song. And then we have People That I Love Leave by Cassidy Pope featuring Jax. And yeah, this one also kind of just, it probably shouldn't be a feel-good song, because lyrically it's not, but it just feels good to listen to. Again, it's It's a good pop punk song that's catchy. I love it a lot. And again, it does kind of feel good to listen to, but I think the reason it feels good to listen to for me is because I loved Hey Monday a lot, and this is Cassidy Pope making pop punk music again, which leaves me very intrigued to see what she's gonna do on that new record, because she's already released 2 pop punk songs again, and I'm pretty sure she said she was working on a whole record. As well as that, When We Were Young, Hey Monday is going to reunite, and they're going to play Hold On Tight in full. So that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really excited for the future, and People I Love Leave, ever since I listened to it when it came out in the summer, it stayed in constant rotation, and it's up there for my 3rd most played new release of what's in the list here of the year. And then we have what's actually my favorite song of the year, of a new release, and that is Haunted by Spanish Love Songs from their new record, No Joy. Pendulum is creeping up there to be my favorite song. I would still give it to Haunted right now, though. There's just something special about this song, and I think perfectly illustrates this is like crying on the dance floor. And I love the song so much. Again, it's so good. Everyone sounds amazing on it. Perfect song to be the lead single on the record. And Haunted is just so good. And then number 1 on the list here is Love from the Other Side by Fall Out Boy from So Much for Stardust. And this is one that, again, it caught me by surprise. I was not expecting Fall Out Boy to do a song like that again, and they did. And then for me personally, I liked So Much for Stardust quite a bit. It feels basically like all eras of the band, and I think they make it work. I know some people don't care for the record, and that's fine, To be honest, Fall Out Boy's always kind of been a divisive band. Honestly, I've heard of a lot of people genuinely just not liking Fall Out Boy, even with, the early and mid-2000s kind of, peak a lot of people say they have, But as someone who does like Fall Out Boy, both pre and post hiatus, I thought this song was very good. And again, like I said, I do think it's a bit sad for me personally that I think this is the best song on the record. But I think the record still has plenty of other really good tracks, and this was a perfect lead single, and such a good song overall. I just love it a lot. But I've already talked about some of these songs quite a bit already throughout the other episodes. My voice is killing me just because, again, not feeling very well. I'm going to call this the end. Those were, with 1 entry per artist, those were 18 of my favorite songs, 18 of what I think are the best songs released in 2023. Let me know what you think. Let me know some of your favorite songs, albums, artists, etc. that released new music in 2023, what you're excited for in 2024. And yeah, that's really it for TGC Radio. I'd like to talk more, but yeah, I'm just not in a spot where I can do that right now, sadly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, share it on social media, do all that good stuff, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.